We are all familiar with the miracles of Jesus, the Son of God, who walked this earth over 2,000 years ago. We've heard stories of him calming storms, healing the sick, and even raising the dead. But what if I told you that some of his most powerful miracles went largely unnoticed? They weren't grand spectacles, but rather subtle interventions that profoundly changed lives. These unseen miracles can offer us a fresh perspective on the kind of divine power and compassion Jesus offers to us today. Join me on this journey as we uncover these often overlooked miracles and explore how they continue to impact us today. You see, we tend to think of miracles as loud, dramatic, and public. The parting of the Red Sea, the resurrection of Lazarus, Jesus feeding 5,000 with 2 fish and 5 loaves. These miracles are celebrated in Sunday school, depicted in stained glass windows, and sung about in church hymns. But what about the miracles that didn't come with a crowd, a fanfare, or a lasting name in religious texts? How do these lesser-known miracles reflect the nature of Jesus and his mission? And how can they inspire us in our faith today? Let's start by exploring the whisper of healing. While Jesus certainly healed many people in public, he also had moments of quiet, personal healing. It was just a touch, a word, a gesture, a restoration that happened in an intimate setting away from prying eyes. Imagine being Peter's mother-in-law. You're in your home when Jesus arrives, and the first thing you see is your daughter-in-law lying in bed before you, possibly racked with fever. Your family probably expects you to be helpless in this situation. But then Jesus lays hands on your daughter-in-law and she is immediately healed. Or perhaps you are the one facing illness, weakness, or pain. In your moment of vulnerability, Jesus comes to you and heals you. You don't have to prove yourself worthy of a miracle. You simply receive it in your time of need. This is a picture of God's tender heart, isn't it? He doesn't just heal for the gallery. He reaches out to the hurting, the broken, the ones who feel forgotten. Consider the woman who had an issue of blood for 12 years. She couldn't be healed by any human means. She'd tried everything. But in her desperation, she touched the hem of Jesus' garment. Not even looking for him, she just believed that if she could touch him, she would be made whole, and indeed she was. What makes this miracle so powerful is the quiet confidence of her faith. She wasn't seeking fame or recognition. She just needed a savior. Her faith was rewarded with a whisper of healing, a silent affirmation that she was seen, she was valued, she was healed. But it wasn't just physical ailments that Jesus healed. Remember the deaf man who could neither hear nor speak? The crowd mocked him, but Jesus took him aside, placed his fingers on his ears, spat on the ground, and made the sign of the cross on his throat. Then he looked up to heaven and spoke in a strong voice, "Be opened." Immediately the deaf man could hear and speak. Here was a miracle that wasn't just about removing a physical barrier, it was about opening up a world of possibilities. Suddenly, the deaf man could connect with others on a deeper level, breaking free from the limitations imposed by his disability. This was more than a healing, it was a liberation, a chance at a life that was richer and more inclusive. And we see similar compassion in the miracle of provision and peace. Think of the times when Jesus fed a multitude of people, not with a flourish or fireworks, but quietly and efficiently. No doubt you've heard the story of the feeding of the 5,000, but what if I told you there was another occasion when Jesus multiplied a few loaves and fish to feed everyone gathered around him? On this day, Jesus may not have been surrounded by a massive crowd, but a group of people eager to listen to his teachings. Among them could have been you. You and the small crowd are sharing a simple meal when suddenly it runs out. Everyone looks at each other wondering what to do next. But then you notice Jesus. He takes the little that you have, blesses it, and begins to distribute it. It's not a spectacular event, but a miracle of provision. Each person is satisfied, and there is even some left over. It's not just about the food. It's about the assurance that even in scarcity, God can meet your needs. Or maybe you're on the shore of the Sea of Galilee with your friends, spending a night of fishing. All night long you cast your nets, but you catch nothing. You may be tired, frustrated, and ready to give up. But then you remember Jesus' words. He told you to try one more time. So you cast your net, and this time the catch is abundant, so much so that your boat begins to sink. With the weight of the fish, you shout for help, and lo and behold, it's Jesus. He helps you bail out the water and reminds you that you have nothing to fear because it is He who has blessed you. In both these stories, Jesus didn't perform miracles for the sake of showmanship or grand spectacle. Rather, He intervened to meet the basic needs of people who genuinely needed it. He provided food for those who were hungry and helped those struggling in their trade. These quiet miracles underline the practical nature of Jesus' ministry and His deep care for the well-being of people. Now, let's talk about the transforming touch. Think back to when Jesus dined with Zacchaeus, the rich tax collector. Perhaps you've heard the story. Zacchaeus, a man considered a sinner by society, climbs a tree to get a glimpse of Jesus. When Jesus sees him, He calls out, "Zacchaeus, come down quickly. I must stay at your house today." Imagine being Zacchaeus. You're surprised and deeply moved that Jesus wants to visit your home. As Jesus enters your house, you realize that everything changes. The way you saw things, the way you treated people, it all comes into question. In that quiet atmosphere of your home, you encounter the Son of God who doesn't condemn you but invites you to change. Moved by His compassion and teachings, you commit to amend your ways, promising to give half of your possessions to the poor and to restore fourfold what you had cheated anyone out of. This isn't just a story of salvation, it's a transformation of the heart. Jesus didn't perform a flashy miracle that day, but the change He brought into Zacchaeus' life was nothing short of miraculous. He didn't condemn the tax collector for his past. Instead, He offered him a path to redemption. This is the essence of Jesus' ministry, isn't it? To show people that no matter how lost or broken they felt, there was always hope for change and renewal. These unseen miracles of Jesus remind us that God's power isn't always on display for the entire world to see. Sometimes it's in the subtle shifts in the hearts of people, prompting them to choose love over hate, compassion over greed, and faith over doubt. So, my friends, as we wrap up this journey through the unseen miracles of Jesus, let's remember the enduring echo they leave behind. In our lives today, sometimes God's presence and power are felt in the smallest, most quiet ways, like a gentle whisper in the chaos of our lives. It's easy to focus on the grand, well-known miracles of Jesus. But, as we've seen, it's in the subtle, less celebrated acts that we find a deeper reflection of His character and mission. Miracles of healing, provision, transformation. These are not just stories of the past. They're living echoes that resonate within us today. Let's cultivate a faith that not only seeks the spectacular, but also appreciates the quiet blessings and interventions of God in our everyday lives. May we open our hearts to the whispers of His healing, the assurances of His provision, and the transforming touch of His love. And may we, like those who witnessed His miracles in His earthly ministry, continue to proclaim His wonders for generations to come.